Hi guys, it's Mary. We're doing a podcast this time. No, I'm keeping the mic close to me because I don't want to wake up Shy Guy. We're going to do another wasted away in GlitzyFritzyVille basket today. Tell you about my thoughts of the cosmetics I've been using for the last month. You'll get to see which ones I had to waste, which ones I used up, my thoughts along the way, and what's coming in. And what is on my face is a complete mystery. If you want to know what that is, you gotta keep watching. Actually, I feel like Melissa 55 right now, which is a great compliment. All right. But anyway, I want to apologize from the get-go here because you might hear me bump into the microphone. I mean, it's like right here in front of my mouth because I need to be quieter. Shy Guy's asleep. He had a bad night, so he's asleep, and I want to try to be a little more quiet in here today. Let's start with eyeshadow primer. Before I do that, just so I'm relaxing my eye, and you can see that this is, of course, still laying down there because this stuff here, lid lift from City Beauty, it's not a surgeon, but I think that it is lifted a little bit, but more than that, because it's tamed the wrinkles on my lid, I think it looks better. I'm conducting a little experiment. I'm putting this on just this lid, not that one, just to see. I just want to see, does it get better? The eyeshadow primer, of course. My favorite one that's been in here is the Sigma stick and also my MAC paint pot. This here I pretty much use on days when I'm not going to really go all out with eyeshadow. I think you can tell I use it a lot. It's staying in the basket, but I would be willing this month to put this away for a month, I guess, and pull in two things to prime my lids with. One is the Urban Decay. I don't like this typically because of the doe foot, so I actually squeeze it out. Let's just go ahead and do that right now. And I'm just going to pat that on my lid. And then another thing, I was at the Ulta one day and I saw this thing here. You know what that is? It's a jumbo pencil in milk from NYX. I used to start out every eye look with this and it really makes your eyeshadows pop. This one's brand new. I don't even have the plastic off of it yet, okay? So don't do that. It's not good for your teeth.
It's not good for you.
I remember when my grandma was just a couple of years older than me right now, and she broke her front teeth biting into a piece of toast. Every time I bite something like that to get it started, I always think about my grandma. And I'm like, Mary, you do not want to bust your front teeth. Now, I want to pull this in here because I have never tried it with the Blessed palette. And if you don't know what the Blessed palette is, well, aren't you lucky? I'm going to say it for about the 600th time today. This is my eyeshadow palette that I put together with Sydney Grace. Yay! And it's named Blessed. I was so proud of myself this past month. I did not cheat on my eyeshadow. I did not go get this. I keep keeping Blessed in here, and if I put it away, I end up getting it because naturally, those are my favorite eyeshadows right there. But I want to know, because I never did it, this is pretty pigmented on those colors. Can it be punched? We're going to bring the jumbo pencil in. Obviously, I'm bringing Blessed in. But I'm going to spend some time this month with my Tom Ford Nude Dip. And I'm going to wash those first. Obviously, I use those. We'll use that in a second. But before I do that, I want to show you my Naked 3 and tell you what I think about it. I think I used the brush in here once. There's some wear and tear on this shade here. And I cannot seem to get it at an angle that shows. I bet I'm about ready to hit pan on it. This shade here, too many sparkles that fall out. So pretty much every day I was doing the same thing because it's just like a rosy kind of palette, as you can see. So a lot of the looks look the same. Now, in case you're wondering why I don't know this before now, since it's definitely not a new palette. In fact, I've bought this palette twice. Once when it first came out, and then again after decluttering it. Well, that's one of the reasons for this series, to fully test out makeup. Because like so many other beauty YouTube product reviewers, I've only actually used this a handful of times. So of course, when I used it a handful of times, I loved it, but certainly not like this month where I've gone 30 days straight using only this palette. I would start with Limit. I would use this in my crease, and then I would jump down here and I would put this on the outside and under my eye, and then I might deepen it up with the one on the end, which, as you can see, has sparkles in it, but you can blow those ones away. It's a truly outstanding feat that I went an entire month using this and only this, save one day. The fate of this is probably a declutter. I'm thinking I'm going to have to do a declutter soon. There's some drawers I can't get shut, and that's what we do around here. We don't collect makeup. When the drawers get full, the makeup leaves by some way. This is the palette that made a believer of me with Tom Ford eyeshadows, because prior to this, I was like, why do we need to spend that much on eyeshadows? My BFF Michelle gave this palette to me. It was in her collection and she didn't want it anymore, so she gave it to me so I could try Tom Ford. Let's just say I loved it. So I'm just going to take a fluffy brush, because I'm not going for anything really elaborate today, just a fluffy brush from my brush set. This is the E35 from the Glitzy Fritzy Essential Eye Set. Since the Wasted in GlitzyFritzyVille basket is not tutorials, I will be not telling you what I'm doing, just either speeding through it or telling you what I am going to be using and then moving on to the next thing to save time, because this video can last forever. Know what I mean, Jane?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Fun Fritzy fact, this shade right there, I am so obsessed with that shade that it was the inspiration for Be a Blessing in my own palette. I'm like, one of these days, I may not have that anymore. It took the longest to develop that shade. I've said that before. This is Tom Ford. This is Be a Blessing. We kept going back and forth to make this shade, but shift it just a tiny bit from a champagne gold to pink. So there's a pink undertone to Be a Blessing. Pretty thrilled and stoked that I get to open new mascaras. All of the mascaras we'll be talking about at the end when we talk about the wasted and the things I used up. We'll be talking about those. This is from Grande, and I wish they'd stop putting that plastic on the outside of it. Grande Lashes Conditioning Peptide Mascara that I will use pretty much on the daily. Who doesn't need some peptides on their lashes? And this, I've been waiting to get another tube of this open. Just coming off a high-end tubing mascara to now probably the cheapest one that money can buy. Here we have e.l.f. This is the one we're going to use today. I'm going to do that right now, and you don't have to watch that. I'll be back in just a few minutes. I also decided, because I need a few mascaras open. No, I just don't need 10 mascaras open, right? So I decided I need to bring this in because it's been in the drawer for a while, and I love it. It's Clarins Supra mascara. It has a pretty large, long bristle wand on it, and it's a pretty fantastic mascara. And just because I want to know, I'm bringing this in. This is not Thrive's tubing mascara. You guys let me know that when I got it. So I chose it in a FabFitFun box because I love it, right? And I had intended, that's why I bought this, to put the two up against each other, and so I had kept it in the drawer. But this one is Liquid Lash Volumizer. That's what this wand looks like. So I will be using that over the month to see, is this any good? I don't know. Never used it before. This is the Give Beauty Line It Up eyeliner in Spiderwebs, my very favorite. And as you can see, one of the reasons is because it doesn't transfer down. I should have put the other one on first so that you could tell that for sure. This is staying in here. I enjoy it. It's almost done. Never fear, I have another one. The other two eyeliners I had in here was Sephora's Coconut. I really love that. I think this is going to stay again. So I like putting this one in my waterline and then line it up in my tight line. So I'll probably keep that in here. This one by Urban Decay, though, is leaving the basket, but I'm bringing two others in. My color one is going to be Urban Decay's Electric. I always want to go, we're going to walk down to Electric Avenue.
Hey, Electric Avenue!
I know. It's Electrical Empire. Look at that. Oh, I love that so much. And since I'm bringing the Blessed palette in, I want this. I want to spend some time with that. But I'm also going to bring in my Lancome Listilo in Chocolat. I don't like to use Listilo in the waterline. I think that it doesn't stay there, but I do like doing that. I've had this one a while. It's starting to dry up. You might get a report from me next month that I had to waste it. That would be horrible if I had to get rid of that. We shall see. We shall see. Before I do my brows, I want to do my face primer, and we're bringing in the new Lawless and try it out for a month instead of just a day. I don't really detect a scent. I mean, if it has one, maybe it's just from whatever's in it, not necessarily that they added a perfume to it to make it smell better. What's going back in the drawer, and I used heavily, was my Laura Geller Spackle. This stuff is very hydrating. I think it's a must if you're going to use her powder foundation, which I used all month. We'll come to that in a little bit, but I'm probably down a fourth of this. It's very hydrating and I really like it. While that primer is setting down, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows. All month I had 2 pencils that I was using, and of course my 24-hour brow setter from Benefit, which I love, 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 but I will put it up for a month because I want to try something. And these 2 pencils. I kind of don't want to put this up. This is Benefit's new definer, and I use it in 3.5. And let me just bring this up a little bit here, because you don't want to bring this up very far. No, you'll bust it off. Do you see that tiny, tiny, tiny little tip on there? And then on this end, of course, is a little spoolie. So what I was doing all month is typical for how I like to do my brows the best, and that is to take this, run it through my brows, and then take a regular pencil, skate over where I have some hair in the tail, and then use this on my skin in the front. And instead of using the Benefit Goof Proof, which I probably should get out and use so it doesn't go to waste, I was using the About Face because when I did that video, I thought, I like this color. And I had a good time with my brows this month. I really liked how I did them. I'm going to put both of these back. I want to show you this one before I do though. So the About Face comes with this green little spoolie on one end, and then it's much like the Benefit Goof Proof. As you can see, it's got like a rectangular kind of a blade. And there were several days when I was like, hurry, I got to get ready because we're leaving. And so I would just come to the front of my brow and just rake through. And this pencil did absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with it at all. Really like it. Putting it back in the drawer. The brow products that I'm bringing in to replace my 24-hour brow setter, I want to try to see how I like the e.l.f. Brow Lift against their new product. It's the one, the gel that has, you know, I think meant to replicate Too Faced's brow wax. I want to see, do I like the Lift better than I like this? This, I think, is a dupe, straight up dupe for ABH's Brow Freeze, and I love their little tool. This is a must for putting this on. In order to not get too much, is just take this little tool, go in here and get some of this. Oh, this is starting to get kind of sticky. This might get wasted. I don't know. Then you put that on and then use this to brush through it. And then, of course, I just talked about this. And neither one of these products would I use like Benefit's 24-hour brow setter. It will not go on first. It would go on to hold my brow after I've got them on. I'm bringing in these 2 products. So this is the Urban Decay Brow Blade. On one end, we have a pen. Look at that tiny little line there. I would give this thing a better rating than I have in the past, but I can't seem to find a shade that's spot on. And this is a pencil. They're meant to be used together. You know, two mints in one.
Two mints in one.
2 brow things in one. And then I saw I had a brand new Lancome pencil in there, and I almost got it and opened it, and I went, Mary, you still have this one. This is one of my all-time favorites. That's all there is left. That's it. So I expect to go through that. And of course, spoolie on the other end, which comes with a cap, I'm sure, but I normally throw away the spoolie cap so I'm not getting the wrong thing on the wrong side. So I don't know. Which one should I do first? Which one do you want me to do first? I think I'll use the Brow Blade. I hate coming into a brand new pencil because you've been spending like a month using this one brand, and now you've got to acclimate yourself to the new one. I do like to do this lately where I'm just coming on my arch and the back of my brow, the tail. Stay off of this area right here. Just kind of sweep through there maybe. And then come to the front. Let me draw a little line here. Now, I don't have a spoolie. The Lancome one has a spoolie, but this one doesn't have a spoolie. You learn a lot about products when you use them for more than one day in a row. This side over here seems to be bleeding together. The ink, running together. Whereas this side here looks more like what I wanted it to look like. I don't know that we're going to be able to do anything about that except fill it in a little bit more. I'm going to get this little tool, and what I like to do is do that, but as you can see, because it's so sticky, because it's old, it's pulling off a lot. Oh yeah, that's pulling off a lot. Last month, I used this all month by Fenty, and I love this. This is a really great foundation. This gives a beautiful natural finish, and I love this foundation. And I didn't bring in a loose powder as I normally do. So what I was doing was taking the Fenty, this is their powder foundation. I used it to mattify and set my T-zone only. Loved that combo, but there were a lot of days where I was taking this on a big brush. Even after I'd done all of that, I would still use this over the rest of my face to set it. And it's very light on me, but it has just the slightest sheen. Look at that. It's so beautiful. The Laura Geller Baked Powder Foundation. And some days I would just take a thicker, like a kabuki, and use this all over my face, and then, very quickly throw on some bronzer, some blush. I love this stuff. It's like magic. And when I pulled it in here, I don't know if you could tell, there was kind of a hump there, and I wore that hump off. Also, after I put on my Laura Geller Spackle Primer, I was using this either before my makeup or at the end of my makeup to give me a highlight. I know I haven't been separated from this that long, but I paid too much money to not use the product. I love this foundation. I really do. So I'm going to bring it in, and it will also tell me a little bit about this primer here because I've used it over the top of other things, loved it. So if it doesn't play nice, then maybe this primer is not that great. Now, if you don't know it, this foundation costs like $70, but a lot of it was this tube that it comes in, this right here, which of course is refillable. But if you don't care how it looks on your vanity, just buy this. I'm gonna give that a good shake outside of its container because I hate that sound. We need to talk about concealer. Sometimes I do my foundation first, sometimes I do my concealer first, but I think I want to do my concealer first, and I want to talk to you about what I've been using all month was the Fenty. So I wanted to use the Fenty with the Fenty. Right? Here is Fenty's Doe Foot. So you see there? It's not real bendy, but it's soft enough. I just splat it like that. I don't care for this packaging because I can't set it up. There's no flat end. You have to lay it down, which I don't necessarily like. I kind of like to set it up. I'm so glad I spent 30 days with this. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. I don't like to powder down my concealer. This one needs to be set. And how I like to typically set is to take some setting spray and put it on there and just kind of do this. Well, what happens if I do that with this setting spray anyway? I don't know. Maybe if I used something else, it wouldn't have done that. But with this setting spray and this formulation, these two together, I don't like how they look. It looks like I put something wet underneath my eyes. I like this best when I just use a tiny bit of it and use a brush then to put it on. But if I do that, then I don't really have enough coverage. So it's like a little finicky for me, but it does do the job. I mean, I can think of worse concealers than this. And this one I'm bringing in might be it. I don't know. But I gotta give this a shot. Gotta spend some time with the Yensa. Here's the doe foot on it. It's a tiny doe foot. I'm hoping that this is gonna be a good concealer month because, like I said, this wasn't horrible, but it wasn't my favorite. And I don't want another month like that. I want a month where I know my concealer is gonna look great. I'm going to put that right here. I think if I remember, this is a thin formula. Also coming in is going to be my Sigma color corrector. I've not used this forever. I love this. I'm going to try to put it, since that is such a thin formula, right up under here. And maybe that color corrector will hang on to the concealer. Should have put it on first. I didn't think about it until after. It was an afterthought. And we'll just see. I probably should use Yensa by itself first. We'll do that over here. I'm going to start down here, take it all the way across, get it in my troughs, and work its way up underneath my eye. I don't think I got this from Sephora or even a department store. I think I got this from QVC, to tell you the truth. And to be fair, it is aged. I don't know how long ago I bought it. I don't think it was a year ago, but it could have been. This always stays in here. It's my Laura Mercier Secret Concealer. I use it typically at the end to conceal that spot. And I've been away from this long enough, I can't remember how I like to do it. But I think it might be with a sponge. I don't normally like foundations that have sunscreen in them. This one does, and I love it. But when you pay upwards of $40 for a foundation, it better be good. You better like it. You better love it if you're going to pay that much for it. I think you can see right away why I like this. That looks just like my skin, just evened out, which of course is what a foundation should do, not be a mask on your face. And I think that the Prada one does a really good job. So excited to have this back in here and be able to use it again. The powder I'm going to bring in is Moira. I want to spend a month with this because I did a half of my face with the Moira, half of my face with Givenchy, and I thought they looked exactly the same. But let's spend a little more time here so I can determine if I need to buy Givenchy again. And I'm just going to pack that on with the sponge the way I like. I have Mist You Loose powder. For me, powder that's in a compact tends to make my foundation look cakey when I do this. I want to spend a month with my brand new bronzer. And the way I love to bronze is to take a huge bronzer brush, which this one has residual on it. So I'm going to be careful, okay? Because it has a little bit of the residual from the one I've been using all month, and I don't want to get too carried away. But that's typically how I like to bronze. Great big brush to diffuse. The one that I'm letting go back in the drawer, and I'll probably have it forever and ever. Amen. Is the Lancome, because this was limited edition. You can't go buy this. You can no longer read what was on here now, for these two anyway. But Lancome really knows how to do makeup. I was going to say bronzer, but hello, they just know how to do makeup. That's going back in the drawer. The blush I used all month was my Mario. This one is the powdered one. That's what the shade is, Mellow Mauve. And I enjoyed using it all month, just taking this brush by Sigma, as you can see. So we're going to use the other side to put on the new blush. Bringing back in my Natasha Denona Mini Dream. I'm just going to tap like that into it and pop, 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 pop. Right there on the tops of my cheekbones. Yep. Yeah.
Yay! Yay!
I'm going to use Cookie by Benefit. I have missed it. And I just used the brush that's right in it. This was the setting spray I used all month. I'm going to put that away and bring back in my Charlotte Tilbury, my pretty much favorite setting spray. This is my YSL pen that I use for this. I use it to clean up and highlight the top of my eye. That stays all the time. For my mouth, I'm just going to have one lipstick this month. The reason is because I don't really need 2 lipsticks. The one lipstick isn't even in here, and that is my e.l.f. Lipstick in Dirty Talk. It's in my purse because I pretty much kept it there all month to use on the go to touch up my mouth. But what I was doing all month was using this by BK Beauty. It is Grace. I always call it Gracie.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
I was using this heavy because all my other BK Beauty lipsticks, well, not all of them, but most of them went bad. And Grace is my favorite, so I was concentrating on Grace. But when we get to the Wasted, well, you'll find out that I went through one of their lip liners. So I pulled in this one, and it had been used before too, so this is all that's left of it, and I intend to keep it in here. I also have one more. I realize you can't buy BK Beauty lip products anymore, or if you can, they're real limited because they're getting rid of them. But I love their lip liners so much. And I'm going to use this one until it's gone, which won't take long. Then I'll probably pull in the backup, which is Sweet Pea. Now this is not Sweet Pea. This one here is Warm Spice. The lipstick I'm bringing in is that one. And of course there's the liner next to it. It is my Dior And I'm bringing this in because I paid a lot of money for this. I don't want it to just sit in there and go bad. One thing I don't like about this is its cap. I'm sure that they want to agitate the crap out of you, so you purchase one of their expensive tubes. You have to really fiddle with it to get it to line up correctly, and I think it comes off easy in my purse. I'm going to put Grace back. I hope not forever. Maybe I'll put Grace in my purse. I mean, this is a perfect lipstick for me. So maybe that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in my purse so that it doesn't sit in the drawer and go bad. Then I'm bringing in 2 glosses. So this one is the brand new one. This is a brand new shade for City Beauty. Now, if I'm going to wear it over the top of, you know, my lipstick, it's going to be a City Beauty. And the reason is because it's going to stay in one spot. So this is, what's this called? Stars and Spangles or Midnight Sparkle. Because it's got little sparkles in it. City Beauty lip glosses put, dare I say, film over the top of your lips that kind of makes it stay there. So it's not usually running all over the place, but there we go. I'm also going to bring in my Maybelline Plump It because I have turned into a masochist now. And I like how this burns me.
Oh, it's so good.
Love how this burns me. There's the doe foot on this. And of all of the plumpers I have, this one is actually the one that I can feel the most. It's also the one that provides the most visible plump. I'm also keeping this in my purse. It is my e.l.f. SPF 25. So I'm gonna go do my hair. I'll come back and then I will tell you about what got wasted and what I used up. Look, almost all of this is mascara. So, all right, Clinique, let's start with this one. High Impact Mascara. It started flaking on me, and usually that's because a mascara is old. I don't know that this was 3 months old, but it could have been an old mascara when I purchased it. I really loved this until it started flaking. These 2 by Swede, I used the crap out of. Cloud is my favorite, and it has that wand that I love, that really bendy, not bristle. What do we want to call this? Silicone, rubberized. So many mascaras have this wand on it, and I love that wand, and I love the formula of this Swede mascara. It's really good. This one here, not so much. It just kept getting worse, and it has everything to do with this brush, which, you know, if you're good with one of these combs and flat sides, you might like this, but I did not. It's called Pro Lash Lift Mascara, and one swipe. That's all you can do. If you do any more than that, then they start to clump together for a cartoon mono lash. So don't like this one. The L'Oreal Panorama. It's actually a thicker, kind of that same bendy wand. It's a good mascara, you know, but L'Oreal pretty much makes good mascaras. So it's just another good mascara. You know, this one's in a big gold tube. Blink's Lash Extension Tubing Mascara. I love this mascara. It has, again, one of those kinds of wands that I love. Very bendy, great formula. I just, you know, it didn't last as long as some other mascaras that I have. And I was like, it's over. And for that kind of a price, maybe you should make the tube bigger and put more in it. It's really good. To the last drop, I loved the Blink mascara. This here, used it up till it was all gone and started flaking. Lights Camera Lashes by Tarte. I purchased the little one because, you know, if it's an option, I think I would rather purchase the smaller ones. For somebody like me, it just makes sense to have a trial, mini, travel, whatever you want to call it, the smaller ones. I like this mascara, but it's not a love mascara. And I have another one of these because when I bought it, it was buy one, get one. So there's another one of these in the drawer that hasn't been opened yet. And that brings us to this mismatched thing. This is Lisa Eldridge's brush, and this is Jones Road. Let me get these switched around. I stopped using the Lisa Eldridge because it just wasn't giving me the oomph I wanted. Now, it made my lashes look good on a day I wasn't doing anything. I just wanted a couple swipes of mascara. It looked really good, but Kitten Lash is not for me. I did, however, like its wand better than the Jones Road. They sent that one to me, by the way. I like the Jones Road formula, but I don't like that huge. What happened to this? Because I don't think it was, probably got bent more going in that tube. It wasn't that bent. But look at that. That's like a huge caterpillar. And I like the formula of their mascara, but I prefer a smaller wand. So what I did was switch them. And that's how I used up my Jones Road. Well, as much as I'm going to use of it, I am wasting both of these because I want to move on now to other mascaras. The last two things, one is a use up, yay, go Mary, and the other one is a waste. I'm sorry to report that my Urban Decay alkaline pencil, which is a pencil I've had for many a year, it's a little dry. Now, I love this color so much. I'm wasting this. I'd buy another one, but I have one by Swede that Swede sent to me, and it's this one right here, Margot Bordeaux. It's almost the same shade. So I'll use this one, and then I may pick up this again in the future because I do really love Urban Decay's eyeliners for an interesting color on the outside, like under here. I don't use their liners in my water or tight line because they don't stay there, but they do a heck of a job to accent my eyeshadow, what I'm doing under here and getting smeared up. So yeah, I like this. I'm going to use this till it's gone, and at that point I'll make a choice whether or not I want to go. I mean, the Swede kind of gets an advantage because of that smudger. But, you know, if you're the kind of person that's putting these things away, I think I just showed you that we might run into problems this month with the Lancome Stilo because this dried up and it's hard and the pencil seems a little dry. But, yeah, sadly, I have to waste the rest of my alkaline. This is what happens when you don't use your makeup. Then I did use up my favorite liner, which is BK Beauty's Sweet Pea. Sadly, Sweet Pea is no longer. You can't buy it anymore. I do have one in backup, so I can use the liner one more time, but she gone. She gone. All that's left to do is to ask you to go be a blessing to somebody today. Make their day. It'll make you feel better and let you know. Lord willing, I'll see you next time. Love you. See ya. Bye. Bye-bye.